I love Fortnite. Many people do, but aside from the terrible lag spikes, there's something about the game that's been bugging me a lot lately, and today I'll tell you how it could be fixed.
I'm fresh. Gotta be fresh.
As you can tell from the title of my video, I really don't like the weapon roster in Fortnite. I touched on this briefly in another video where I compared Fortnite and PUBG for you guys, but it's high time I go farther into the subject and why I don't like the way Epic currently has their weapons set up. To me, the weapon roster right now feels very bloated and top-heavy with purple and gold weapons. We have more gold variants of weapons than common ones, and after a point, the color becomes meaningless when everyone has easy access to high-tier weapons in the game. Remember back in Season 1 and 2 when you found a gold scar and you nearly had a heart attack? Now you can have up to 3 separate legendary assault rifle variations. Other classes have 2 or 3 epic and legendary weapons in it that do the same exact thing, just with an extra couple points of damage as a reward. It sort of reminds me of that quote from the Incredibles movie, when everyone is super, no one is. And this is how I feel about Fortnite currently. Having a gold or purple weapon in your inventory is so unremarkable these days, it's shocking that they even bother keeping with a tier system. My goal with this video is to provide you with something to think about if you do play Fortnite, and to provide suggestions on how to make the weapon load up much more efficient, valuable, and interesting than I believe it has become slowly over time as this game has evolved. Right off the bat, I want to suggest something that may rock you to your very core, tear apart your opinion of Fortnite, and quite possibly blow your mind. But it's also something I believe will make the game much more interesting to play and turn what currently is a side note in Fortnite BR into a pivotal piece. What if we made gold weapons crate only? Naturally, I rip this idea straight out of PUBG, but anyone who has played the game knows that the crate weapons are what can make or break your experience in any given match. The weapons can quite literally win you the game, and are fought over like dead carcasses to hyenas. It's brutal, risky, and blood will be shed. Of course, I wouldn't want to make this simple but game-breaking change without adjusting a few other things. That's what the meat of this video will be about. But first, I want to touch on my second major problem with Fortnite, that it goes through new weapons like nobody's business. This has, in my opinion, created a plethora of weapons that feel the same but are just a prettier color. For example, the heavy sniper and the bolt action sniper. Same clip size, same shots to kill, same type of ammo. It's just that the heavies can take out walls in one hit. This isn't a bad thing, but do we really need 2 purple snipers? What I'm not saying is stop giving us weapons. I love trying out the new toys Epic gives us, but why so many varieties? Let's make things simple. First, let's start with the sniper class. We have 4 different kinds of rifles: semi, hunting, bolt action, and heavy. Not too bad, right? So why on earth do we have 8 colors of rifles in this class? Here's what I would change it to. As you can see, the semi-auto would be green, hunting rifle blue, bolt action purple, and the heavy sniper gold. This isn't a major change, it's simply a cleaner look in my opinion. Now remember, the gold heavy would be crate only. This is because I do think it is the best sniper in the game, and shouldn't be relegated to the same areas you can find a common burst assault rifle. Next, let's look at the assault rifle categories. Personally, if it was up to me, I'd make it so that you could simply switch firing modes rather than taking up a whole slot with only one. However, I don't want to make Epic think too hard about this, so I'll make it easy. Here's what I think it should look like. Demoting the gold scar and the burst to purple and blue is something that I think should have been done as soon as they introduced the suppressed assault rifle. It adds something completely new to the game, and I think the same should be done for the burst, effectively trimming down the gold items in the game, which I believe has gotten out of control. Scoped assault rifles is a pretty clear choice to me. Placing the thermal in the crate to be able to see through builds is a good reason to hang on to it if you are fortunate enough to get one. Increasing the damage in the purple scoped assault rifle would be a good move, I believe, but not really necessary for the game to succeed. Shotguns I would keep unchanged for the most part. However, Epic has really screwed up the damage on these weapons negatively, as well as taken away the double pump, so I have to go all out, just this once. If you take away the pump's damage, keep the double pump. If you keep the insane damage it was capable of, keep double pumping off the game. It's as simple as that. If I had to choose, I would pick the ability to double pump at the penalty of keeping the damage where it's currently at. It adds variety to the game without breaking it in my opinion. Here's how I would adjust the shotguns. Keeping the auto shotties where they're at is the obvious choice for me. I think they're in a great spot in the game. Like I said with the pumps, I don't care what they do, but a change needs to be made here with this weapon. The heavy shotgun could also use a damage boost. 74 point blank to the chest is just not good. Even though the headshot damage is phenomenal, hitting a completely clean one is nearly impossible when in the heat of battle. I think 90 damage every pellet hits the chest is a good amount of damage, especially considering that the pumps, as bad as they've become, do more body damage than a gold heavy. SMGs are next, and even though the weapon class isn't overpopulated, this is by far the most boring class in the game, and here's some changes I would make to spice things up. I chose to bring back the TAC and the suppressed SMG because it would add quite a bit of variety to the class that currently only has 2 variations. With the TAC SMG, all you have to do is give it the same damage stats as the Epic P90, and it would be balanced. Having a weapon or two with first shot accuracy would also give the players who want the high rate of fire with that ability the option, but a lower damage per shot would be the penalty. Next, the pistols. Oh boy, this sure took some thinking, simply because there are so many, but this is what I got in the end. I divided up the pistols into 2 categories, high rate of fire and low rate of fire with higher damage per shot. Bringing back the revolver would be great for the game. It was a hard weapon to use, but in the right hands it can be deadlier than a drink from Bill Cosby. The 6-shooter really only needs to be a purple weapon in my opinion, and it is kind of oddball in the low rate of fire category, but it does add variety to the weapon roster. Now the explosive weapon category. This one I believe is very bloated, so hopefully this new change will make things look a bit cleaner. Having 3 different grenade launchers is always a bit much to me, so placing it in the epic tier next to the RPG is a good spot for it in my opinion. The quad launcher may seem like an unpopular choice for the crate, as it's not a great weapon right now, but if we update the damage to 100, it would be worthy of it in my opinion. The guided missile is ass, but keeping it in the game is good for squads and some of the other LTMs. Now we have a category of weapons I call the spammers, and I'm sure you'll agree once you see the class. Bringing back the Tommy gun and the LMG would complement the minigun nicely, and not make you rely on crates if your playstyle is to knock down builds. However, the minigun is the best choice for that, so you should have to work for the weapon instead of getting it off a lucky chest. Bringing back the C4 may be controversial, but with it being a crate-only item, you're not as likely to get killed by it in a game. Besides, finding 2 crates that both have C4 so you can max out at 6 would be extremely rare to come across. I also could never figure out why they dropped the impulse grenades. They were a great risk-reward type weapon. I'd love to see these back. As far as the boogie bombs, it's been fun, but I'm not sure if they're a good fit for the game anymore. Vault those things. That's about it, honestly. Everything else can stay the same, but can we please have the bouncers back? The garbage chillers do nothing for the game and are more of a joke than an advantage for your average player. Maybe dropping the amount spawned to 1 or 2 would be okay. I don't care. I just want the bouncers back. Anyway, if you like this, drop a like, comment below, and what changes would you like to see made, if any, to the weapon roster. Subscribe to keep updated. Until then, peace.